So the point I started thinking, it's like, what do I believe? What do I want to impart to people when I talk? As a Christian, what do I want people to see? What do I want people to see in me? Do I want them to just see some religion that I have? Do I want them just to see my doctrine or my theology or something? Or do I want them to see something real? Do I want them to see something that isn't just something you use in church? Isn't just something you use around your Christian friends? Isn't just something, that it's just this phony little religious thing. I don't want that. I want a life that when people hear what I say and people see me and see my life, they're going to see that Jesus is real to me. I mean, honestly, if there's nothing else, if I die and the only thing anyone can say about me is that Jesus was real to him, I mean, that's enough. Because I'm serious. I mean, this is, I think I said this a few weeks ago. I mean, I really believe this stuff. This isn't just something I'm practicing because it makes me feel better. It's not something that gives me a reason to be moral. I mean, I believe that Jesus is real. And I believe if he's real, then he should be a reality in his followers' life. Do you guys follow me on this? I went too far up. Okay. I went to a party last night, and some of the people from my work, and it's funny how many people, without me telling them, I mean, they knew that I was, I was a Christian, and I, do this, and I preach, and all this kind of stuff, and I love doing this kind of stuff, and they knew about it, and and it was kind of funny because whenever somebody knows that, there always comes a point to where they kind of have to decide how to handle it. And some people, they don't know how to handle it with me because I'm not like most Christians. I'll just tell you, I'm not. I don't go around trying to shove things down people's throat. I don't sit there and get on a soapbox and try to, tell somebody that they're going to hell unless they listen to what I'm telling them, because I know that's not going to get anywhere. I just like sitting down and listening to what people have to say. I like being able to listen to what someone has to say. And it's funny because I think that's the reason why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Because he wanted us to listen when we talk. I think sometimes the problem with Christians is we hear somebody say something and it's like it pushes a hot button. Hot button, okay, I got to say something. I can't let them keep doing this. Instead of just shutting up and listening and finding out what this person's really saying. If somebody, when they know, and it's funny because when they know you're a Christian, they want to hit those hot buttons because they want to find something that's going to set you off so they can put you in the box. Most Christians can be put in a box. I mean, honestly. I hope that offends some people that are listening because it's meant to. Most Christians can be put in a box. Say something about, what's the new Proposition 8, 8 or something, the homosexual marriage. Say something about that, hot button. There you go. What do you think? Oh, Christians do, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, you're back in a box. There you go. What about abortion? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now you're in a box. What do you think about teaching evolution in school? Well, blah, 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 blah. Now you're in a box. That's what Christians do. They don't think about it. It's sad because even Jesus said that his followers should be as crafty as serpents, but as pure and harmless as doves. To be as crafty as a serpent. It's amazing that Jesus would tell his followers to be as crafty as a serpent. That is an amazing thought when you think about it. But what was he saying? Because he knew Christians, as time went on, would be so easily manipulated or by whatever their pastor or their person they're following says, and they think they just have to be like sheeple, following that person, doing whatever the person said. I better just act this way, talk this way, live this way. And when something outside of the ordinary comes along, we don't know how to react to it. Why? Because it's not real to us. You see what I'm saying? You can't. It's sad because Christians can't just be regular people anymore. You can't just sit down and have a discussion with somebody. Why? Because we think we have to defend something and we have to stand. But the bottom line of it is that God wants to use us to reach people. God wants to use us to touch people's lives. God wants to bring people to a relationship with him, not change them the way they are. God doesn't want to just make somebody who's a sinner just not sin. What's the point of that? I know some very, very great moral people that do some great moral things that are atheists. So is God happy with that? Well, is he? Well, they're doing all the right things. They don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't cuss. They give a bunch of money out to people. They're very nice people. They have nice family values, never cheated on their wives, blah, blah, blah. You can go down the list. All the 10 Commandments, perfect. But they're atheists. You ask them if they believe in God, they'll say no. So why is it that we feel sometimes as Christians that we want to try to clean somebody up? Why we want to try? Oh no, you can't. We want to just go after somebody about what they do or what they say or how they live, instead of stepping back and going, well, what's the real issue here? The issue isn't the sin, it's what's inside of them. They're sinners. Just like we were at one time. We sinned because we were sinners, right? We sinned because we were sinners. And I'll tell you what, if you're a Christian, you're not a sinner anymore. You might still screw up every now and then, but what's inside of you has changed. You're a new creation. Okay. Paul's talking to these Colossians. And let's go. I'm going to go to a few different verses here, because this whole chapter is amazing. I mean, it's actually very, very good. God did not save you to get more people to obey the Ten Commandments. God did not save you to get a bunch of people that will act like you, talk like you, and live like you. God did not save you just so you can go out and try to force people to live a certain way. You know, we get caught up in the shadows and we miss the substance. You know, verse 17, you know, that says it was a mere shadow, the law. All these commandments were a shadow. You know, you think about a shadow. How many, you know, when you're growing, you know, you're a kid, you know, you see this shadow of something. It's always, you know, you're in the middle of the night, you're laying in bed, you see this shadow. Oh, it's a monster. Oh, it's this. And it always looks big, you know, always crazy looking, you know. But, you know, when you figure out, oh, it's just a shirt over on the corner of my bed, you know, it's a shadow. We get so caught up in the shadows. You know, God isn't the Ten Commandments. God isn't the law. God isn't obeying a bunch of things. God isn't about, that's not God. That's a shadow. You know, the reality is Christ. The reality is Jesus. You know, and it's funny because I was thinking about this, the word reality, you know, it's such a funny word. I mean, how many, you know, reality shows, you know, most of us at one time have probably watched some reality show. I just like watching The Soup, so then you can kind of see all the reality shows and they make fun of them all, you know. But, you know, it's funny because they call them reality shows. Are these people real? I mean, seriously, they're not real. That's not reality. You know, what was it a couple nights ago we were watching The Soup and they have that. What's the one that's The Hills? Is that the one there? It's like I don't know. I've never watched it before, but they always make fun of it. But it's supposed to be a reality show, but it's obviously not. These people are just so stupid, you know. I mean, you know, they're dumb. And you watch these people, and it's like the world is just, it's a different world they're living in. I don't know, you know. It's not real. You know, sometimes I see some of these people in the way they act, the way they talk. I mean, I don't relate to that. That's not real. That's phony. They're putting on a show. You know, it's on TV. Even like The Biggest Loser or any of those other shows, it's like they get the people who will look the best on TV. They act that way because they know it's good television. You know, I remember when we watched the what was that cooking one? The Next Best Chef or something. Yeah, it's like the Food Network one. And there was a lady who literally halfway through the show, she just walks out and quits. And then she comes back and they still don't get rid of her because it made good TV. You know, hey, this lady's throwing a fit and all that. It makes good TV. You know, but it's not real. It's funny because we have such a skewed idea of reality. And the sad thing is we put this stuff on TV, people sit here and go, oh, this is reality. No, it's not. You know, this is not the real world. The real world is getting up in the morning, going to work, you know, taking a shower and actually making it to work, you know, with the decency of mind to be able to do something, you know. Having some coffee to get yourself going. That's reality. Reality is some guy at some point during the day is going to tick you off with something, whether he cuts you off when you go to work or whether he's going to say something mean to you. You know, the reality is that at lunchtime we get to go eat. And then guess what? At some point we get to go home. And then when we go home, we get to either eat dinner with our family or we got to make dinner for our family. Whatever the case may be, that's reality. Reality is the basic every little day. Reality isn't that you're having some big scuffle with some person and some big fight and, you know, or you know, all these other things you see on the reality. That's not reality. Reality is just the basic everyday things that we have to deal with life and other people. Reality is there's other people that we're involved with on a day-to-day basis. That's reality. You know, what is real? You know, what when we see these shows, this is not real. What's real is what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And that's what Jesus wants to affect. That's where Jesus wants to touch us. That's where Jesus wants to deal with us.